The stock market is about to roar higher, and that includes Tesla stock. And I think Tesla is going to do very well, nonetheless, needless to say, over the next couple of days. Here in this video, I will share with you the next big catalyst for Tesla, why I believe Tesla is going to do very well, what happened today, and why it was so significant for Tesla stock and for the broader markets. We did have some Tesla stock breaking news today. I shared that in the last video. Let me briefly catch you up to speed with the news of the day today. First and foremost, it appears like there is over 100,000 orders in China for the new Model Y. It was also rumored yesterday that the Model Y, the refreshed version, could be launching in the US in the next couple of weeks. When that news comes, it's going to be really good for Tesla stock. I don't know when that news will come, but normally when you get a rumor like that, it tends to be true in due time. It was also reported today that Elon Musk had a meeting with the Chinese vice president. Trump invited China's president to Trump's inauguration. Instead, he sent his vice president, which is about as friendly as that gesture gets. Well, Elon Musk and China's vice president had a meeting in which they both kind of said they want to do more business with each other. And Elon Musk said that he is open to the idea of investing more into China. With such a large opportunity that the Chinese market is with EVs, that I would say is good news for Tesla stock. Now, trading today for Tesla in Europe was up about 3%. And that's a really good sign for what we can expect in our markets coming tomorrow morning. Now, in other news today, Trump's project WLFI bought $47 million worth of Bitcoin today, just after the inauguration speech commenced. And also in the news today, Nancy Pelosi bought $500,000 in Google call options, $500,000 in NVIDIA call options, $1 million in Vista Corp call options, and $100,000 in Tempest AI call options. That's about as good as it gets, forecasting or making a judgment call on what markets are going to do next. I think it's pretty fair to say if Nancy Pelosi is bullish, then you should probably be bullish. She doesn't tend to lose very often. So as I talked about before the inauguration, markets were very bearish heading into this. We all had expectations that tariffs were going to be unleashed on day one. We didn't know how big those tariffs would be, but we expected tariffs would happen on day one with the, executive orders. That's not happening. We're not getting a tariff executive order on day one. And I think that alleviates at least part of the fear that we've had over tariffs and higher inflation. So that was really good news. And I expected the markets would rally either way, even if we did get a tariff announcement on day one. But now that we're not getting this tariff announcement on day one, I think that gives even more room for markets to move higher. I mean, how could you not be bullish on that? Now, futures, for the most part, were up around 0.5% today, and they did close down at 1 p.m. So already initial signs look good. But I do think Trump brings a euphoric aspect to markets. We've seen this in crypto markets in the last couple of days. I mean, Trump and Melania launched their own meme coins. I don't know how that's not going to translate to some degree into equity markets. Now, I was already, again, bullish on this upcoming week after the inauguration, but it seems like things are getting even more bullish. From no tariffs on the executive order to a friendlier, U.S.-China relationship, so on and so forth. Now, I think the best way to play a little bit of market euphoria, a little bit of a rebound in markets, is Tesla stock. Obviously, Elon Musk and Trump have a great relationship. Elon Musk was behind Trump at the inauguration today. And there's so many positive catalysts going for Tesla, specifically just Tesla. Like, cheaper, lower price Tesla is expected this year. Robotaxi network expected this year. Optimus improvement and continued, deployment, ultimately expecting a couple thousand Optimus bots to be produced this year and start working in Tesla's factories. Like, all of those things are a big positive. But now you have no tariffs on day one. You have a market that was very bearish heading into the inauguration. You're clearly set up for a large rally from here. Now, I think, again, it could get a little bit euphoric. And I think the best way to play that, I think the best stock positioned for this is Tesla. By far. I still think AI, specifically AI appliers, are going to be the biggest winners of 2025. That, to me, looks like almost a certainty at this point. Now, Mike Investing on X says it's happening. Tesla is going to have the biggest breakout in its history this week. On Friday, the institutions loaded tens of millions of dollars worth of February $600 calls as Tesla heads to become the most valuable company. $500 plus incoming by February. I actually think $500 plus could come as soon as this Friday. And I know that sounds crazy to a lot of people, but considering the setup that we have right now, I don't think that is a crazy projection. Now, would I die on that hill? No. Would I bet everything I have on that? No. But I don't think the odds of, Tesla hitting $500 by the end of this week are too outlandishly bullish either. If we take a look at the option activity we had in Tesla stock on Friday, you had 373 different orders totaling almost $350 million with a positive order value of 73%. That was pretty good for Friday, even though markets were kind of nervous heading into the inauguration. Now, we did have a lot of pretty bullish option activity on Friday. A lot of this positioning was for the week ahead. As I explained in previous videos, about 65% of the call activity for this Friday's expiration, or 65% of the volume for this Friday's expiration, was calls. Only about 35% was puts. And it does seem like there was a lot of people positioning for a larger rally in Tesla. Now, all of the numbers have reset a bit, but really from the 430 strike, the one that's just out the money, all the way to the $500 strike by this Friday had a lot of activity. In fact, the strike with the largest open interest is the 450 call, which is almost 28,000. And then the $500 call is up next at 21,000. So there's a lot of positioning for Tesla stock to rally quite a bit in this upcoming week. Again, mix the good news today with poor sentiment over the past couple of days and really the last couple of weeks, and boom, you have a recipe for a large rally in Tesla. Now, on Friday, you also had almost 900,000 shares that were covered in Tesla, and that's always going to be a good sign. If short sellers are covering into a big event, I can't think of something that is more bullish than that, or a more bullish sign than that. Now, if short sellers were doubling down on their short positions, that would definitely have been an issue. But you still have about 67 million shares that are sold short, worth almost $29 billion currently. Like, there's a lot of shorts still in their Tesla short positions. And following the good news today, do you really want to be in those short positions still? I would argue probably not. Now, another positive for Tesla stock from a more fundamental basis is the fall in the dollar today. Now, since there was no tariffs put on day one, the dollar fell over 1% in futures trading. Now, why is that good? Well, Tesla reports earnings in US dollars. They don't report earnings in euros or pesos or, the British pound. They don't report, earnings in the Chinese yuan or the Japanese yen. They report earnings in US dollars. So when Tesla takes in these foreign currencies and they've been converting those foreign currencies back to a strong dollar, Tesla has gotten less dollars. The dollar fell 1% today, so that means they're going to get about 1% more dollars for their foreign currencies that they bring in. That helps boost Tesla earnings, and Tesla did nothing. Okay, now if you continue to see downward pressure on the dollar, that will continue to be positive for your multinational companies. It's not every company that the dollar benefits. The companies that do a majority of their business in US dollars do not benefit. Okay, you only benefit if you do business globally and you convert those global currencies back to US dollars, which Tesla does, Apple does, like Microsoft, Google, some of your other big tech names, Nvidia to a lesser extent, I would argue, will benefit from that ultimately. So I think that's another potential tailwind for Tesla. Now consider on Friday, Tesla broke above its 20-day moving average. This has served as a level of resistance now for a while. And I even said on Friday, you're set up for a run to the 460s. Now, with the way that things seem to have played out, a move to $500 per share is only about 17% higher. I believe Tesla could do 7 to 10% tomorrow, just depending how euphoric things get in markets. They've already gotten pretty euphoric in crypto, kind of died down a little bit because Trump did not mention crypto in his inauguration speech. I don't know how many people actually expected that he would, but I do think these developments are very positive for Tesla. You can also see the S&P clearly broke out of a downtrend on Friday. This is not something a lot of people are going to talk about, but it is very significant, and markets going higher is really good for Tesla. And it looks like based on the futures market implied open, the S&P could be up about 0.5%, which is already going to push us above 600 on the SPY, and that's going to, I think, likely beget more strength. Strength tends to lead to more strength, and let's think about the backdrop we've had. As I said in previous videos, we have a strong economy, reinforced with the data that we've gotten in the last couple of weeks. We have lower than expected PPI. Really, PPI just cratered last month. CPI came in lower than expected. That's good. Trump tariffs seem to be non-existent for now. That's positive. That's been the one big fear catalyst markets have had. We just got bank earnings that were much better than expected. We do have some earnings this week, including American Express and Netflix and CSX and Union Pacific, some other healthcare names, some important companies there, obviously Netflix being the largest one. But I have no reason to doubt the rest of this earnings season. I think things are going to come in pretty good. And I can't really, point out a bear thesis at this point. And when I can't point out a bear thesis, when it's not blatantly obvious the bear thesis besides tariffs, and now that's gone, it only seems logical that markets would move higher. Now, I think the markets have forgotten that Trump is a pro-business guy, that Trump wants his legacy to be one of strength, not of stock market crashes. And I do think from a basic principle, that is also very positive for markets that we've lost sight of in recent days and weeks. And again, that's why markets rallied after November 4th, right? Or November 6th when the election was. So, from that perspective, it's also hard to be bearish. And when it's hard to be bearish and markets are this negative, again, CNN Fear and Greed Index at 38 in fear. 25% of investors expect stocks to be higher in 6 months from now. That's the lowest number I can recall ever seeing here. You're ripe for a large rally. Now, the dollar falling today, no announcement on tariffs. This is new information that we did not know yesterday that I think will be exceptionally positive for Tesla. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for this video. I do think Tesla, though, to 460 is more of a base case. New all-time highs could be in the cards, and $500 per share is, not out of the cards either. That could be pretty fair for a target for the end of this week. And there's only 4 days. I know that sounds crazy, but I think we're entering a new golden age of opportunity for markets. And I think things are going to move a lot faster than people expect. Thank you for watching. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.